Hi guys. So this Friday I talked about going to my very first session 0 for tabletop RPG games with Pokemon. And today I wanted to talk about how the session went, how I created my character, and to see if you guys want a summary update of the sessions going forward during this campaign. And I can say I'm very stoked and happy and very excited to play Pokemon in a new way. Uh, During this session, all of us went through the rules, since none of us in this group have ever played Pokemon with in tabletop RPG format. So we went through the rules and bit, then we went through how to create our characters and fill out the character sheets. And as a pleasant surprise, even though I probably should have expected this, both the Pokemons and the players got the separate character sheet. Like I said, a happy surprise, but I probably should have expected this. I thought when I went there, like the only one who's gonna have a character sheet, or at least was a character, and the Pokemon would have ready sheets. But no, we create the stats, and that will probably change mostly for the Pokemon. The character sheet will, for the player, will not change that much. But I will still talk about it because it was an interesting way of filling out the character sheet. So the character you play has 6 base stats, which are agility, strength, charm, education, fortitude, and awareness. Now, for some of you that has played tabletop RPG games before, you know roughly whatever of these stats will do. For you that hasn't played a lot of tabletop RPG, I will summarize it here. Agility is how well you move around and climb obstacles and basically do parkour, or just move in general. Strength is what you can carry and push away or drags toward you, or just how hard can you hit another person. Charm is where you use to persuade, intimidate, or just try to bluff your way out of a situation, basically. Education is how much did you study before you start your Pokemon journey? How much did you try to learn about the world? Did you photography in the maps? So how good can you read a map? How much do you know about the region you're in? So how well can you use this? Fortitude is basically how well can you take a hit, both physically and mentally. Because in Pokemon world you can take a punch, but you can also get attacked psychically by psychic Pokemon, or perhaps similar to Sabrina, that actually can use psychic moves themselves. And awareness is how you can perceive the world. Now, how aware are you about your surroundings? How well can you actually read the emotion and facial expression of both humans and Pokemon? And these 6 stats will be categorized into dice. Now you have 6 dice for the 6 stats. So you will choose where to put like the D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, and D20. Now what I understand so far is this base stats will not change during the story. They will be how good you are at this stat throughout the campaign. Then we get as level 1, or rank 1 as it says in this game, you get 6 skills points to put out into the skills. Now there's a lot of skills, so I will not ramp up everyone up here, but there are, for instance, like athletics, Pokemon lore, geographics, Pokemon handling, natural medicine, and stuff like that. I will put out a picture on my YouTube community tab with my sheet for my character, how much I filled out it so far, so you can see somewhat what I'm talking about. And maybe if you could find the tape property on Google, you can try to do your own character sheet. It's a lot of fun, I promise. And after that, we will take and choose our trainer archetype. Now, there's a list of different archetypes you can choose from, basically saying what type of trainer are you. And there are, on top of their head are ace trainers, breeders, bird keepers. But also it's like specialist trainers, like I think those are the ones specializing in one specific type or stuff like that. Now, if we chose a character that had journey a long time before this campaign started, we were allowed to use those types. But if this is our first journey, we could not. And I decided not to make a guy that had journey a lot. So this is my very first journey throughout this campaign, because also that is my very first time playing Pokemon with the tabletop RPG format. So I couldn't choose one of those types. I could choose the others, and I could probably later on choose a special type if I want to, because in this game you can have 3 archetypes. But my first choice went actually like easy for me, because I had already decided my backstory for this character, and my character and his family are Totodile breeders. So we are the ones that breed and make sure Yoda has plenty of Totodiles. And we also the one that gives Professor Elm, for instance, in the anime, the Totodiles to give to new trainers so they can start their journeys. So I chose to be the archetype breeder. Nice, huh? Nice, huh? I'm a bit tired, so I'm gonna probably do something wrong here and there. So, and each archetype you choose has a non-battle ability and a battle ability. Or you can just say passive and active ability. But in this is non-battle ability or battle ability. And for a breeder, as a passive or non-ability, non-battle ability, when you hatched a Pokemon from an egg, you may choose up to 2 of the different what's it called? Stats. No, it's some of the stats. Wait, I have the paper here. Choose one of the 5 qualities of a Pokemon, which are characterized as size, nature, ability, gender, and what else? Egg moves. So, what size do Pokemon gonna be? Which is from small, average, above average, large, huge, or it goes up for as pygmy up to king, and if you're lucky, you can get an alpha Pokemon. And if your Pokemon has an egg move or not, that's where you roll the percentage dice to see what you can get. But as a breeder, you can choose up to 2 of those 5 you want to take and get in your Pokemon, which is nice. Like, you're good at breeding, so hatching Pokemon from eggs, so you get to you can somewhat guide the egg to be like the Pokemon you want it to be. And as an active battle ability is that I can get the secret ingredients or cook Pokemon food that will boost one of my Pokemon's stats during a battle. Only lasts through that battle though. So, and I can only do 1 meal per Pokemon. I can only cook 1 meal per my rank. So right now I can only do 1 meal and it's only to 1 Pokemon. But that's nice, and I think that could come in handy later if you think strategy wise. So that would be, I would say, pretty much the fun with that. Now, we also get to choose our starter Pokemon, and since I'm from a family that breeds Totodiles, I of course start with Totodile. And to be fair, I already knew somewhat what I wanted from a Totodile, and now thanks for breeder I could choose its nature, ability, and stuff like that. I chose to lock in its ability to be adamant, for Relegator is a physical attacker, as we all know. And I wanted a female Totodile, and I gave my Totodile the nickname Savika. I guess you can figure out where I got that name from. And as soon as I got the name for my female Totodile, I knew that the rest of my team will be based the nicknames from our Arcane show. And so like Adamant and the Ninja I was locking in. The rest I rolled for. So I didn't get an egg move. My size of my Totodile is, and guess what? I got lucky. I hatched an Alpha Totodile. So I'm starting with a Totodile that's twice as large as a regular Totodile. There are one larger than an Alpha, which is King. But hey, an Alpha is still good. They will not have any battle mechanics advantages to be an Alpha or King or stuff like that. It's just flavor, basically. And as the moveset you choose for your Pokemon, since I don't have an egg move, is its learner moves from 1 to 10 of its rank. And a Pokemon can have a rank from 1 to 10, and each rank gives this level up moveset 10 levels. So rank 1 can get from level 1 to level 10, and rank 2 is 10 to 20, and so on, up to level 100. Now, as a backstory as well, since I am 1 year older than most people in this world start their journeys, because in this game, you start your Pokemon journey as you are 16. And not 11 as you are basically in the games, which, as we all can agree, is more realistic, right? It's not like, I cannot imagine any parents, or even you guys, to assist to you, oh, you're 11? Here's a pet for you. Go out and travel the world. Bye. Nah, there's none of us that would do that. Or, if anyone of you guys would, comment 53 in the comments. If you will let your 11 travel the world with just one monster and collect more. So I started my journey as a 17-year-old. Now, as a question a question form when we get sent later on to fill out in the backstories, why do you start your journey a bit later? And I went a bit of a tragic backstory, but also like fun, I guess. Since I nicknamed my Totodile Savika, I wanted my characters to have that wound that Savika has. So, during the year I was supposed to start my journey, my home and where we have our Totodile farm was hit by a very powerful storm. And during the storm, my entire family just scrambled around and just tried to save as many babies and Pokemon eggs as we could. And we managed to save them all in the backstory. And as the last round to check so we didn't miss anyone, my character, which I have named Rain, he went to more dangerous areas to try to find, and he managed to find one last egg in that area. Now, as he went up there to get an egg, that place was hit by a very, very extremely strong wind that made him fall, as well as a tree. Now, luckily, he managed to save the egg and survive. Bad part is that tree landed and crushed his left arm. So my character will be one-armed person going through his journey. But the egg survived, and out of that hatched a very healthy baby girl Totodile, which became his partner, and he nicknamed it Civica. And also before he started his journey, and as a present for what he did, he went to he was allowed to go to a vacation with his mother to Alola. And while they were having a nice time in Alola, his father and his two sisters took a part of the farm and moved to Kanto, just east out of Fuchsia City, to start a new Totodile farm. The rest of his family stayed in Johto, and they're living northwest out of Lake Rage. Of all the maps, I thought that was the good place to having a Totodile farm. If you had a place you would put a Totodile farm, please comment that in the comment section as well. Also, but in the end of the vacation, Rain, he entered a Pokemon quiz contest, and out of luck, he managed to win, and the prize was an Alolan Vulpix Pokemon egg. So he's very excited, and straight out, as soon as he won, he went to a nearest Pokemon Ball shop and bought a Dream Ball, where he has planned to put the newly hatched Vulpix when it hatches in. Yeah, no, I don't know. Dream Ball Zero, maybe not that, but we could buy it. And I asked the GM, and it cost me only $600 Poké-Dollars. So that was nice. So now I'm gonna make sure like all my main team's gonna be themed with a different Pokeball. And just to clarify, my Totodile is in a lore ball, as Ash's is. So this is gonna be a fun journey. I have my starter Pokemon, which is in Alpha. And then hopefully very early on, my Pokemon egg will hatch and I will have 2. Now, I don't know what the qualities I would lock in for the Alolan Vulpix. Maybe nature and egg move. Yeah, I think I would go for. Not sure yet. And I have been thinking about all the teams. So far I'm gonna use, I have 5, which is gonna be Totodile, Alolan Ninetales, Cantonian Ninetales, that's how you say it, right? A Nidoking, and a Dodrio. I have not yet found my 6th Pokemon. Not really sure what to pick here to balance things out. But I'm thinking I might want either a Victreebel or a Tauros. Now, what would you guys pick from this team? I'm very curious to see what you would choose for a team for this campaign. You can use my Pokemon I already chosen. You can help me finalize the 6 Pokemon. But I will also see which Pokemon team would you have chosen if you can only choose from team Gen 1 and Gen 2. But I will also allow you to have 1 Pokemon from another region. As long as not a pseudo legendary, or mythical, because we couldn't choose that. At least for start. So this is how it is right now. I'm very tired because I haven't slept good this night. So yeah, well, if you want to hear more summaries from the session going forward, which is gonna be every other Friday, so next session is not from January 23rd. If you guys would like me to do a summary on how the story progresses and what's happened to my team, what I have added, Hit the comments with one. Just comment one or a thumbs up, and I will give you an update every other weekend in how the story progresses. Now, I'm gonna go lay down for a bit before I cook my dinner because I really need to sleep. As always, if you like this video, hit like and subscribe. Bye!